Okay. Well, I'll have to recap the beginning for them later. But anyways, just going into Google, um, typing in your keywords, seeing what all the related searches are that pop up. So there's tons of ideas right here as well. Plus scrolling down, or even just using Google's AI, they're coming up with lots of things right there that you can pull ideas from. Scrolling down into the people also ask section. So this is where you're going to see a lot of similar questions. When you open these questions, it'll expand and add more to the people also ask. So you can keep expanding and just sit here like forever and you'll just keep finding ideas. Or if you keep scrolling down, there's more sections, and on the very bottom, there's also other related questions. So just by typing in your keyword, you could be on Google forever, finding ideas there as well. The next one is just frequently asked questions. So just go back and think about what people are asking you all the time. So what are your clients asking you? What do you hear about in events all the time? Just anything that comes to you and just finding like a good system to keep notes of all this. So when you're out somewhere, you can just easily write down a question or just something that people are struggling with. I was at a co-working session the other day and um people were just saying, oh, I struggle with this all the time. I struggle with this all the time. So right there, I had like 5 content ideas just from going to that. So just having a really good system in place to take notes of everything that's happening. Any current client projects? So what are you doing with somebody? If you're coaching, what are you working somebody through right now? What are they struggling with? Obviously, you don't use their name and their specifics, but if they're struggling with it, there's a ton of other people dealing with it as well. So kind of just talking about their problems and how you're working through it or anything like that. If you're working on like more of a deliverable project. So like, I'm doing a website for somebody. Here's how I'm doing this or like why I'm doing certain things. So any of your current client projects, just using that as content idea as well. The next one is dedicated scrolling, which I know sounds silly, but when I'm just scrolling online, I'm not thinking of it for content ideas. So I take time when I'm trying to build up my list to like scroll specifically for coming up with ideas. So looking at people's posts, is it relevant to me? Do I like the content style? Do I like their captions or whatever it is that just coming up, like just thinking specifically about the content type, not like interacting with their posts and engaging with them. And also using formats that you don't typically use is a really good way to kind of get out of that normal scroll. So, for example, I don't use Instagram Reels. Like that's not something that I scroll through when I'm just browsing. So I'll go to Reels when I'm looking for content ideas specifically because that kind of helps me get out of that like normal just scrolling thought process. So going through like that and then just saving all of the content. Looking at your competitors' social and blogs, sign up for their email newsletter, see what they're talking about, seeing how people are interacting with the content. So are people sharing it a lot? Are they saving it? Are they commenting on it? How are people interacting with it? And if it's performing really well with your target audience for your competitors, how can you use that for your own content? So taking note of all of that. And similarly, reading all the reviews and comments. So reviews are a really great place to find content ideas, and that could be on like Yelp, on Google Business, just going through all of your competitors' reviews, obviously your own stuff as well, and seeing what people have to say. So if there's um, lots of negative comments. You want to take that into consideration and say, okay, our audience is not liking this, so how can I use that for my own brand or for my own content? How can I talk about that in my content? Or same thing for like things that people leave a lot of good reviews on. Okay, our audience really likes this, so I'm gonna weave that into my own business and I'm gonna talk about that in my content. So reviews, comment sections are really big too. So even if if you have a direct competitor who's smaller, just go to like any larger accounts and find what people are saying in the comments there. Facebook groups, forums like Reddit and Quora, and then other communities are really huge also. So I love Facebook groups. There's a niche group for literally anything. Name something really weird. It's in there. I think I'm in like a punk rock bird watching group. I don't even know what that is. But I just thought it was so niche and so funny. So I'm in there looking at people's birds. But anything like it's there. So you can join groups that are, where your target audience hangs out or like specific to their pain point. So just do like random keyword searches under Facebook groups and you will find so much stuff. Facebook groups are very spammy now, so it does take some like patience and time to sort through it, but it is still a really valuable resource. People are in there posting and like asking specific questions, and you can use that for your content or also reading the comment sections in there as well. Let's see, communities and then other communities. So I know a lot of people here in other like networking communities, entrepreneurial communities. You can go in there and see what people are asking, or just even do like market research. I know a lot of groups are open to that. So just type in and ask the community, like, what are they struggling with? What do they need help with? And just see what their responses are and use that as content. You can also do that on your own social platforms. So post a story, ask what people are struggling with and your content, like in your captions, just ask people to respond and just do market research like that. Or like Melissa, I got your email today. I don't know if that was a newsletter or not, but you're just asking, hey, what are you struggling with right now? And that's, yeah. So that was a really great newsletter. Yeah, I think that was a really great idea, and you're going to get tons of content ideas from that when you get responses. So I'm interested to hear how that goes for you. AI, of course. So, yes, please keep me posted. So AI, going in there, creating a new thread and just saying, I would love for you to help me come up with content ideas and then give it all the information about your target audience and about your brand. So be as detailed as possible. And you can even ask it, like, what information do you need from me to help me come up with captivating content ideas to, build brand awareness, to nurture my audience and to convert them. So it's going to give you tons of ideas, and then you can just keep expanding on that and use that as a brainstorming tool. I don't like to recommend just copying and pasting everything that AI spits out to you. Make sure that you're converting it to your voice and just using it as a tool to brainstorm. Old content pieces. So go all the way back in your feed, scroll all the way down, look at content that has performed really well. So if people really resonated with it, you can post it again. So people aren't going to remember what you've posted. Just create like the same content. I wouldn't just like take that exact post and repost it, but create similar content, or you can put it in a different format. So if you posted a carousel, maybe you want to turn that into a reel um, or just repurposing that content. Pinterest is a really great tool as well. So I don't know if people use Pinterest here, but I am a big Pinterest fan. I can go on with that forever, but just using that as another platform to look up ideas. You can search for your keyword. You can search for like other keywords that your target audience is searching for, what their pain points are. You're going to find tons of content there as well. And then lastly, I like to make a note to use your business account for this instead of like your personal account. So one, if you like what you're searching for and what you're doing on an account is training the algorithm that's what you're into. So I like to use the business account so that it knows, okay, this person's searching for marketing stuff. The content she's posting is marketing related. So that's going to feed my content to people who are looking for the same thing. Or if I were to do it on my own account, my stuff's all over the place. It's like food and recipes and places to go. So it's not really like training the algorithm on who I am. So use your business account for that. And then it's also just really handy to have all of that any content that you find, you can just save it on that account and then it's all in one place as well. All right. So you're going to go through all of these. You're going to have a massive list, and that can be turned into anything, as I mentioned, your stories, your static posts, your videos, blogs, newsletters. You can use that to create your next course or your next product or anything like that. So all of that will help you get there. So a few script ideas, like if you've got this whole list, now what do you do with it? Here are a few ideas on how to turn this into something else. Okay, so the first one is a problem, soft pitch, and a solution. So for example, you're calling out a problem that your target audience is facing, and then you're doing a soft pitch. So just saying like, this is what I do for this person, and you're not doing like a hard sell. You're not like up in somebody's face trying to pitch your services, and then you're sharing the solution. So an example of that is, if you're not getting enough organic traffic, let me show you how I got my client over 1,000 extra visitors a month just from organic Google search. Here's how I did it. So I'm stating the problem, which is somebody wants more organic traffic, and then I'm saying, here's how I did it for my client. So I'm just like turning on the light bulb. Okay, this person does this. That's great, good to know. And then I'm giving them the solution on how to do it. So the soft pitch is just enough to say, oh, this person does that. I'll keep them in mind when I'm ready to get help with that. The next one is hook, value, call to action. So this gets people to go to the next step. An example of that could be, are you always getting stuck on what to post? I'm going to show you how to create an infinite content idea list, blah, blah, blah. Go sign up for this webinar. So that's just giving them a hook that calls them in, providing value to them, and then giving them or getting them to take the next step. Another really good one is a before and after and the solution. So giving people immediately the results and then showing them how you got there. So that keeps people entertained and like they want to know what you did to get to the after from the before stage. So that could be a good like carousel or even just a TikTok. You're saying, my client was really struggling with this, but I got them to this stage and here's exactly how I did it. So that's still kind of like including a soft pitch, which is always great to include as well. And the last one is question, story, offer. So an example of that is, do you ever feel like you're doing all the things on social media, but you're not seeing any results? I've totally been there. I used to do this, 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 and this, but then I started doing this and this and this. So if that's where you're at, if you resonate with that, here's a good resource for you. And then you're getting them to take the next step. So those are a few script ideas that you can use from all these content ideas. All right, so I wanted to add this in because even with the list, it can still feel really hard, and that is okay. We are in a business to do something else. We are not naturally content creators. And the hour before this, I was free, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to make some content. And I was going through my list, which I'll show you. I have like 5 pages of content ideas, and I was still like, I don't really know. I'm not really feeling called to any of this. So I just want to remind you that it's good to be patient with yourself. We are not like drawn to this. What was I going to say? There's a lot of like these things on the internet that's like, here's how you can do a month's worth of content ideas or create a month's worth of content in like 30 seconds. And I feel like that's just kind of a slimy marketing tactic to get you to do their thing. But it's okay if that's not natural to you. It's really difficult. So just be patient with yourself. But here's how to create a system that works for you to kind of hopefully combat that. So I'm going to show you a content calendar template that is for free, so I'll give that to you, but also I'm going to show you how I use mine. Even though I've created this like perfectly great system and that I use for my clients, I am not on that same page. So the most efficient system is the one that you actually use, even if it doesn't feel like a very efficient system. If you do it, then that's great. And Melissa, I've been meaning to ask you if you're here, if you use your Airtable template that we worked on together.
So I'm still clunking around in Airtable a little bit. Um, I'm liking it more and more, but have I found like my exact rhythm? No. I'll like bop in there and then I'll use it and then I'll kind of like let that slide. And so I I think it can be successful, but I just my Airtable muscle isn't fully strengthened yet.
I feel you. Yeah, so okay, creating a system that works for you. There's so many things online, and I'm even going to give you a template that may feel overwhelming, but if it doesn't work for you, then like find what does. So this template that I have, I use for my clients, and I'm so good about it for them. But for me, my system is a disaster. Um, so like this is mine. I have a full tab of ideas here, the same exact thing here, more of them here. Like I just have, it's a mess. But it's okay because this system works for me, right? So what I do is I have like if I'm not at my computer, I'll just email myself an idea, and then when I get back to my computer, I'm putting it somewhere into one of these tabs, and then when I'm ready to get to it, I'm making it work. I don't even do like a content calendar for myself because I don't stick with it, and if you don't stick with it, that's fine. So again, just like find a system that works for you, be patient with that and just like accept it. You know, we can't all stick to a system, and I think that that adds to the stress as well. Um, like, okay, I assigned dates to all of this and now like I'm behind. So if that doesn't work for you, don't do that. But if that does work for you, here is a calendar template that I like to use for my clients. And it does have an ideas tab. So as you're going through all of this, you can dump all of your ideas onto this tab. And there's also a really nice Airtable app for your phone. So you can use this like whenever something pops into your head, you can just drop it right in. Um, so let's say you have like a whole idea, all of these things are here, and you're just dropping them in as they come to you. And then when you're ready to kind of like sort through stuff, you can put them in like posts or stories or videos or anything like that, however it works for you. But then the cool part is when you're on your calendar section, you can just pull in the ideas from the ideas tab, and then you're just ready to go. So everything would pop up right here, and then you can fill out your calendar. So that's one system that I like. And if you want that template, it is here. It'll be at the top called Airtable template. So that's one way to do it. That's kind of how I like to use it for my clients. I can be super organized for them, not for myself, but that kind of helps you track all of your ideas. And then you'll see when you go to your ideas tab that it's been like added. There's a little like, you can see the notation that it's been added to your calendar. So you're not using those ideas again, or using them again frequently. You do want to use them again eventually. Okay, so that's that. That's all I have for you. But now, what questions do you have? Any specific things about turning content ideas into content, creating a system, anything like that? I'm happy to help. That's good to see you, Maggie.
Are you a are you somebody who advocates for trying to batch? Like today I do videos and tomorrow I do this, or because you hear a lot of people talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my brain for some reason can't really get wrapped around that. It's like I want to spit something out completely. Which now then I've kind of gone away from Instagram and I'm more on Threads and LinkedIn because I don't have to have a corresponding video or I don't have to create
Mm-hmm.
the carousel. Um, because it just it's too many layers.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually did mean to mention that. So, as I was saying, like finding a system that works for you, if you're a person that's like, okay, I'm really in the flow today, I'm gonna create a ton of content, then go with that. Um, I go through phases personally where like I'm in that phase where I want to create a ton of content. So I'll do that. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, I can't think of anything. I don't have anything in the drafts. I'm just gonna throw something up. This is coming to me. Cool. Um, like as I was saying, if we're solopreneurs, we're already doing a ton of things. We can't be like, we're not an entire marketing agency for ourselves, so we need to find systems that work for us. And like if it's not, like we can't stick to the calendar, we can't do like things like that or batch content, then just like be patient with yourself and that's fine. Because when you're creating content under stress, then it's not going to be authentic, it's not going to be fun for you or fun for people to read either.
Yeah.
That's like what I advocate for is just doing what feels authentic to you so that it comes off authentic as well. And so how do you see people like interact with your content? Like, do you feel like your system's working for you and for your audience, or do you think that you're not doing enough, or like where do you think you're at?
That's a good question. Um, since I've kind of given Instagram a break, I did feel like I was trying to force Instagram for quite a
Hmm.
while. And I mean, I think every once in a while I'd get something with 1,000 views, but most of the time it'd be, sub 200.
Hmm.
And I was getting in my head and a little resentful about churning out all of this
Hmm.
time and effort, and 200 people, like, not that's not something to snub a nose at. I'm not saying that that's not important, because it is, but the results of what was coming from that did not feel like it was matching my effort level. um so I just was like, okay, Melissa, this isn't energetically good for anybody when you're in this headspace about it. So
Hmm.
um taking a break has actually been kind of nice, and free flow writing is kind of more my style anyway.
Yeah, then I think that's great. I have like, um, yeah, I just really believe in doing what feels like you're most called to do, and like that's writing for you. And so that's where you're gonna see the most engagement from, because yeah, you are enjoying it, it's coming off more natural, and that's where people are gonna interact with you. Threads is doing really well, and I think that's a great place, and I hear a lot of good things about it. And I think your target audience is definitely there. So if that's working for you, you don't need to be doing all the things. That's what I like to remind everybody of is like there's so many marketing shoulds, but like you're still like one person. You cannot be doing all of the things. So just do what feels most aligned with you.
I dig it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
What is a carousel?
Oh yeah. So do you use Instagram?
Yeah,
Yeah. So when you like swipe and there's multiple pictures on one post.
multiple pictures on one
Mhm.
post. And what is Threads all about? I've seen it's the new thing and I haven't done it. I haven't signed up, but what is that all about?
Yeah, so Threads is Instagram's version of Twitter, so it's just text posts. Um, I am anti like Meta, Facebook and Instagram. I don't even want to be on Instagram, so I like refuse to add another platform, but it's been on my
Yeah.
mind a lot lately, because everybody's on it and everybody has really good things to say. I don't know, Melissa, if you have any like,
I hear you, Berlin. I'm the same way with anti-meta. Um, However, some of the conversations that are happening there, it's like, you know what? The best form of like resistance is to use their own platforms against them. Like, we are coming together in a revolution here, the conversations that we're having. Um, are so uplifting. It's more in the conscious entrepreneur space. It's about doing things from your heart. And luckily, that's that's what the algorithm is feeding me. That's the world I try to stay into. So it's been really, really nice to have a community of support there that feels like, all right, fine. Like we're going to use your system, but it's not because we like your system. It's because we're trying to create a different world than what your system represents.
I love that. Yeah, I have heard a lot of good things about like the conversational aspect of it. So, Julie, especially for like the coaching side, I think that could be a
Yeah.
really great place for you to live.
Okay. I will definitely look into that.
Yeah.
So I just ran an ad and I'm not real good at it, but I had a schoolmate run an ad for me for a huge sale I was having on dog training. And I noticed that it was getting tons of clicks, tons of all this stuff. People are actually clicking on the link. And I got maybe out of like 400, no, probably like 1,000 link clicks. I got like 2 phone calls. So I'm kind of just not sure what to do now.
Yeah. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, what I would say to that is like, well, it's kind of hard to say without seeing your ad, but generally, was it on Facebook you said, or like an Instagram, Facebook ad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, those ads are like super expensive. They're not performing very well.
Mhm.
And it is really tricky to get conversions. What I have seen is that boosted posts on Instagram are actually performing really well. I used to be very anti-boosting posts, but they've changed so much recently that you can be really targeted in your ad, so it is worth it. I've gotten a lot of conversions from boosting posts over running ads. I did the same thing. I spent a lot of money on ads and saw literally nothing. And then I boosted a post for $30 for a week and got like a good amount of signups to a workshop. So I would recommend that, but also just paying attention to just like the messaging in your ad, the ad setup. There's a lot. I could please message me after this and we can chat more about like what your ad was. I'm happy to talk about it.
Okay, I'm actually gonna have to jump off. I do doggy daycare, so I gotta get these dogs back out. But are you gonna send an email with like the recording or the slides or anything?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, I'll get a hold of you through there.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
Good to see
thanks,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. Boosting posts is good. Yeah, good to know.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna give that a try.
do it. I was like insanely surprised. I spent probably $400 across 2 months on regular ads and didn't see anything, and then boosting post works. But also I just noticed the last time that I ran a boosted post, it doesn't like being linked to like ConvertKit where I was getting my signups.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to be to your website. And so that was annoying because the first couple I did, it was fine. But then the last time it had a problem. And so my ad really didn't get out to people because it didn't like the link anymore.
Got it. Okay, so a link to your website, you said, is what
Yeah.
it prefers.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This was lovely. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Bye.